trusted partner and technology leader. We are Kaspersky, a cybersecurity trusted partner and technology leader, forged for corporate business. 220,000 of corporate clients in 200 countries already trust us due to our proven global expertise and best-in-class products, confirmed by multiple international awards and recognitions. We are transparent and independent. We have relocated cyber threat-related data storage and processing to Switzerland and offer our source code for external reviews in 10 international transparency centers. We detect cyber attacks from all around the globe, and we know everything about threats from their source, daily detecting new attacks, threats, and malicious files. We help to crack the most sophisticated attacks ever known. Our security experts, including Kaspersky Great Team, track almost 1,000 APT groups worldwide and cooperate with global security organizations. As a cybersecurity leader, we create a mature, scalable product ecosystem for business that provides ultimate protection from all possible cyber attack vectors. We understand the needs, trends, and challenges of different industries and reduce the load on your cybersecurity personnel. We innovate and build a Kaspersky cyber immunity ecosystem where vulnerability or bad code are no longer a big deal. Protect your business from all possible cyber threats and build a cyber immune future with us. Kaspersky. Bring on the future.
Everyone, good morning. Good morning to all of you. I know it's such a rainy morning for everyone. So, before we start, I just want to gauge where everyone is at. If you could use your chat box, send your emojis, whatever it is you're feeling, do let me know. Send some thumbs up, send some hearts. It's raining from Manila. Yes, I know it's been raining heavily. I see a lot of hearts and thumbs up. All right, from Taguig. Good morning, everyone. All right. Do let me know where you're from also so I can see. And I do want to greet you all a good morning. By the way, my name is Ella and I am your host for today. And I would be welcoming everyone because I'm very excited to welcome our speakers for today's webinar, Strengthening Cyber Defenses, a practical look into Kaspersky's SIEM and framework approach. And as cyber threats grow more complex, it's clear that we need smarter, more integrated ways to stay ahead. And today we'll hear from Kaspersky's experts and industry leaders on how a holistic cybersecurity strategy powered by Kaspersky's cybersecurity framework and their modern CM solution, Kuma, can help organizations like yours boost visibility, automate detection, and strengthen defenses. So we've got a great session lined up. I encourage you all to sit back, relax. Feel free to send in your questions as well. That's why you can, type in your messages here at the chat box. And of course, type in your questions. So let's get started. This is our agenda for today. Right now, we're having the welcome and opening remarks. And then I'll be heading over to our first speaker as he will be talking about adopting a cybersecurity framework for resilience. And then heading over to our second speaker, who will be talking about Kuma, a deep dive. And then later, we will be having an exciting fireside chat. And then, of course, here is our esteemed speakers. I'd like to introduce you all to them. We have a really exciting lineup for today. As you can see, we have Jasmine Chang, Head of Corporate Communications at Kaspersky. We've got Victor Chu, the Head of Systems Engineering of Southeast Asia. And we've got Sam Yan, the Head of Sales for Asia Emerging Countries, all here from Kaspersky. All right. And you'll be seeing some handouts, by the way, on your lower right of the screen. So do download them. Feel free to use them anytime during the session. And don't forget to use the chat box to send in your questions. We will be having a Q&A later, so do have your questions in mind and don't be shy to use that chat box. And we'll be launching a few live polls, by the way, during the webinar, so keep an eye out for those. Now, to kickstart our webinar, I'm super excited to introduce our first speaker. Please welcome Sam Yan, the head of sales for Asia emerging countries at Kaspersky. Sam brings over 25 years of experience in enterprise technology and sales leadership across Asia Pacific. His extensive career spans key roles in channel and alliance management, product management, and direct enterprise and commercial sales. With over 18 years of domain expertise in cybersecurity, enterprise infrastructure, management, and compliance software. Today, he'll be sharing presentation on adopting cybersecurity framework for resilience, a timely and critical topic as organizations look to strengthen their defenses in a rapidly evolving threat landscape. Sam, over to you.
Thank you, Ella. Ella, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone, for joining this webinar. And I know everybody is taking off despite your busy schedule and during a rainy day. Thank you so much once again for giving us this opportunity to share with you what is in it from Kaspersky. All right. So my name is Sam Yen again, and I'm the head of sales for AEC. Customer success is always my key priority for the business, and we hope to engage you more. We hope to hear from you more. And today, let me share about a little bit more about who is Kaspersky. All right. Now, Kaspersky is already 28 years in driving the global business, and we are founded in 1997. All right. We are a product innovation company, and what does it mean, a product innovation company? A product innovation company means that we actually build our product from scratch. If you look at over the past 28 years, Kaspersky does not acquire any product company to basically complement what we are positioning and selling in the market, right? We are a product solution company, and we are not just an endpoint company anymore. We are into endpoint and then non-endpoint. And later in the presentation, you will see how Kaspersky is actually evolved as a platform solution company and a product innovation company. A little bit about how are we performing last year, right? Our global non-auditable revenue is 822 million. And we have an 11% growth in our company sales in 2024. And our year-on-year B2B business has grown by 19%. So if you look at it from across the industry today, despite the global economy that we are seeing today, our company continues to grow double digit. All right. And this is a really very remarkable performance that we have achieved together as a company. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening to the scale of threat over the past 20 over years. If you look at 1994 to today, where we are in 2025, right? In 1994, there's only one new virus every hour. As we scale 24 years later, you look at there are actually 467,000 new malicious found every day. Now, what is this company all about today? All right. I hope everybody knows what is OSMP. And today we are actually looking at both IT and OT convergent technology. All right. So Kaspersky is a cybersecurity company. We not only just protect, we have product to prevent what is actually happening to the world today. As threat is scaling up globally today, all right? Everybody knows cyber threats is getting more and more important.
Hi, Sam. So sorry to
Yep.
cut you off, but I just want to say that you're not presenting the screen. So if we could have our audience see your screen as well, so we're all on the same page.
Oh, so sorry. Have
No
I?
worries.
Can you see? Can you guys see it?
As of now, not yet. You can click
Hmm?
the share screen once again.
I'm actually sharing screen already.
Oh, okay. Wait, let's check here
Yeah.
on our end. We'll check here on our end, but as of now, we can't see it. So, can we try again? If you could
Yep.
exit and then there we go. Okay, we can see it now. All
Okay.
right.
So sorry for that. Do you want me to restart again and go a quick overview again so that
No
everyone
worries.
can
Yeah,
see the
sure.
screen?
You can restart again and I'll leave the stage to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So sorry, guys. Due to some technology flaw, you couldn't see the screen just now. So I just quickly go through a quick overview again. So Kaspersky is actually 28 years, founded in 1997. We are a product innovation company that is registered in UK. All right. And today we are positioning our company is actually a platform solution company. We are not just an endpoint company anymore. We have actually evolved from endpoint to non-endpoint solution offering to the market. All right. A little bit on our performance over the years, especially in 2024. Our global non-auditable revenue is actually 822 million on security solution selling. Our company actually grew by 11% from a company sales in 2024. And if you look at our B2B business, which is our enterprise business, we've actually grown 19% in 2024. This is a very remarkable performance. As you can see now what is actually happening in our global economy. Growing 19% is really a remarkable performance for Kaspersky. And thanks to the support of all the customers who is actually helping us to drive the business together. Now, I want to talk a little bit on the scale of threat, right? From
Hi,
1994 to
Sam. Sorry to jump in once again. Can we have one last request for you to have it on presenter mode so
I
we
am
can all see the screen?
I'm actually on presenter mode.
Oh, okay. Could you click the one on your slider bar at the lower left? If you could see that. Yeah, that one, that one. All right.
Yeah. So apology again. So if you look at what is actually happening in 1994 to 24 years later, from one file to 467,000 new samples every day, you can basically see what is actually happening through cyber threat today. And it's always growing every day with data growing in the global economy and also the global market, right? Now, a little bit on what is actually our offering, right? So Kaspersky is actually a cybersecurity company. We not only just protect, we also have product solutioning offering in the market, like our next EDR solution, our Kata solution, our MDR solution, as well as our XDR solution to help prevent cyber threats in the world, all right? And not only just that, we also have cyber security services like incident response services, vulnerable assessment, compromise assessment, pen testing, SOC services and consulting, as well as our drills from a KIPS and KSET perspective to help customers like you to have a better visibility across the organization. Now, this is our enterprise portfolio. As I mentioned, we are not just only a cyber security solution company. We also not only give our product offerings to the market, we are actually using open single management platform to look at various platforms to help customers like you to basically look at cyber threats. Right. So if you look at us, we have target solution, right? Like threat intelligence, our next product, our SIEM, our Kata, right? And we also have knowledges like threat intelligence and training as well. And we also build the solution and offering and basically from a flagship solution to expert services from a holistic perspective to help organizations like you to face cyber threat. Right? So later in the next few sessions, my colleague will basically share with you what our enterprise portfolio solution entails. And now, and if you look at what we are today from a Kaspersky BDC research perspective in the market, we are actually a market leader in Frost & Sullivan. If you take a careful look today, Kaspersky is actually a market leader in cybersecurity. Number two, from an end user perspective, top 3 is actually an independent analyst report in Germany, and they basically ask licenses for across all vendors, and they will share the licenses to all the customers for testing. And here is the results. And Kaspersky remains number 1 in top 3 analyst report. And this is done on a 2 years basis. And you take a careful look, all right? There are 95 participation, and basically 97% of the customer actually participated. And out of these 91 users came back and say that they are actually very happy utilizing and using Kaspersky cybersecurity solution. With that, I just want to say thank you to everybody for attending this session, this webinar, and I will hand over to my the next session to my colleague, Victor. Thank you.
That really insightful talk, and really laying down the framework. And up next, we have a session that takes us deeper into the technology powering modern cybersecurity strategies. Please welcome Victor Chu, the head of systems engineering for Southeast Asia Enterprise Cybersecurity at Kaspersky. Bringing with him over 20 years of ICT industry and at least 10 years of cybersecurity domain experience, in Kaspersky, he is tasked to lead the Southeast Asia pre-sales team and a consultative technical direction and roadmap in the area of enterprise cybersecurity, which enable organizations to build or improve maturity in solving the increasing challenges of managing security operations, mitigating security risk, and building the right security defenses. Victor will walk us through the Kuma deep dive, the anatomy of a modern SIEM. Victor, over to you.
Thank you, Ella. Give me a second. I will share my slides now. Ella, can you see the full screen now?
Yes, we can see the full screen. Thanks for that, Victor. Over to you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Morning. For these sessions, I actually will share with you what is Kaspersky cybersecurity framework and how can you adopt Kaspersky cybersecurity framework for cybersecurity resiliency. If you are not familiar with Kaspersky, Kaspersky is not new in the cybersecurity business or in the as the cybersecurity provider as well. And we have been in almost 30 years experience, uniquely offer to all organizations globally in terms of the expertise as well as the experience coming from Kaspersky. In these slides, basically, you can see that these are the core pillars of Kaspersky when it comes to global expertise and experience being the global cybersecurity provider. One of the core pillars is actually the global research and analytics team, whereby Kaspersky is built onto the foundations of research and analysis, focusing on complex threats, APT, cyber espionage. And the Kaspersky Global Research Analyst Team basically located around the world, unlike the perceptions that is only in Russia. But we also in Asia Pacific, we have a big team whereby we have great teams located in, for example, in Singapore, in Malaysia, in South Korea, in Japan, in Greater China, and in India, and as well as in Australia and New Zealand. So basically, for our Kaspersky Global Research Analyst team, we have quite a big team for APAC as well. And another thing is, these are actually indirect, not indirectly, directly, the benefits are inherited by all our customers that actually using Kaspersky security solutions. And this team or this department is called Kaspersky Threat Research Team. So for instance, if you are familiar with what we call Kaspersky Security Network, many of these, whether it's malware, whether it's APT, whether it's phishing, whether it's botnet that's been detected by a Kaspersky Security Network, in Kaspersky Security Network, it not only utilize machine learning, but we also utilize human intelligence as well, whereby we have a sizable team. Wherever we receive threats or APT that is, or even malware that is unknown, there will be human elements involved together with all the technologies, including AI and machine learning, to analyze the malware and to determine the weighting of the malware, whether it's malicious or not. If the malware is malicious, that information is populated in Kaspersky Security Network, so that wherever there is a detections happen at the Kaspersky Security Solutions, right, immediately, real time, we know that it's malware, and actions and decisions for an actions needs to be performed. Of course, everyone will be asking like, hey, what is Kaspersky doing with Kaspersky with AI, right? Of course, Kaspersky is continue to grow into the AI technology research. And to Kaspersky, we are not new in the AI as well. And many of our solutions, including Kaspersky Security Network, has been leveraging AI machine learning, right? Of course, we are now building more use case in terms of AI. Everyone is talking about Gen AI research as well, and Kaspersky continue to improve, to innovate, as well as to put a lot of use cases into the existing Kaspersky security solutions or portfolio. Of course, Kaspersky, like what my colleague Sam Yen has also mentioned, Kaspersky offers a comprehensive of what we call expert services, security expert services, such as MDR, such as threat intelligence, such as incident response, which I will share with you some of them. And this team is also a core pillar of what Kaspersky is offering. And finally, Kaspersky is the only organizations globally that provide what we call ICS cert, right? Enterprise Incidents Response Threat Center, right? And it's global threat centers that focus on critical infrastructure or even OT. And Kaspersky is the only organizations that provide this. With all in all these continue to form as the core pillar of Kaspersky that presents Kaspersky as a global expertise and experience being a cybersecurity provider. Let's talk a bit about AI, right? Of course, when it comes to AI technology, Kaspersky is not only putting a lot of effort in research, but also a lot of effort in real time in helping customers to detect threats, complex attacks. And as I mentioned to you, right, if you look into, I have mentioned about Kaspersky Security Network, basically, of all the threat data that Kaspersky has received globally around the world, okay, close to 500,000. Okay, we have more than 500,000 of customers, but not everyone is subscribing to Kaspersky Security Network. But with all the threat data that we have received through the Kaspersky Security Network, it is not possible just with human intelligence, right, that comes from Kaspersky. And because of that, Kaspersky depends a lot on AI, depends a lot on machine learning to analyze those threats so that we are able to respond back to the customers very quickly if that threat is verdict to be very malicious. And if you look into here, right, daily, right, coming out from 100,000 users per day, right, through the Kaspersky security network, right, Kaspersky actually analyze up to 50,000 files, right? Of course, this file, we are not talking about users or personal related files. We are talking about files that are reputed, files that are deemed to be malware, files that are in the threats data category. When you talk about phishing pages, right, per day, right, with AI, with machine learning, right, Kaspersky Security Network actually analyze up to at least 100,000 over pages per day. And of course, you can see so on, right? Based on the latest analysis that comes from Kaspersky, Kaspersky actually detected an increase of 14% of threats increase, right, in comparison between 2024 and 2023. Of course, now it's still in 2025. So we have actually detected up to probably about 437,000 of new malicious malware every single day, and that is actually represents 14% of increase between 2024 and 2023. For Kaspersky, as I mentioned, our core services is not only in the form of products and solutions, but we also offer a lot of expert services to help the customers. One of the key expert services that we actually develop to many of our customers or organizations around the world is called managed detection and response. Of course, in these sessions, due to time limited, I won't able to share with you of the details. But if you look at the naming of the services, you kind of like know what is mean by managed detection and response. We actually help many organizations globally. You can see from North America to South America to Europe, of course, to Middle East, and of course to APAC. And we actually have a sizable of customers actually subscribe to Kaspersky Managed Detection and Response Service to help them to monitor 7x24, to provide threat hunting, to provide security monitoring of any detected advanced threats that coming to them. And of course, the uniqueness of Kaspersky MPI is in industry agnostic, whereby we support organizations running, especially in critical infrastructure, also includes like in manufacturing, financial, government, education, telecom, and transport. And it's basically it's an industry agnostic, whereby any organizations actually can subscribe to Kaspersky Managed Detection and Response Service. Kaspersky also offer what we call Kaspersky Incident Response Service, whereby we actually have a team that is around the world to help our customers. Whenever a customer's experience an attack, a very complex attack, one of the common complex attacks is not really APT. Of course, when you have threat actors involvement, normally the threats are quite complex, but ransomware attacks can be also very complex. So Kaspersky does offer what we call Kaspersky Incident Response Service, whereby we help customers to investigate, we help customers to perform root cause analysis, we help customers to deliver what we call containment while doing investigation, and of course, we help customers to provide them post-analysis, post-incident analysis. At the end of the day, after we have investigate, we help the customers to investigate, and after that, we know what is the root cause. We are able to advise the customers to give them the guidance to say that, hey, this is the main reasons of the attack. This is the main reason why the attack is able to creep into your network or creep into your service workload. And this is how you need to mitigate so that in future, such attack or such incident will not use the same approach anymore. And this is what Kaspersky Incident Response Service is all about. And basically, this Kaspersky Incident Response Service is delivered by a team called Kaspersky Global Emergency Response Team. Kaspersky Global Emergency Response Team is also one of the core pillar team of Kaspersky that actually demonstrate Kaspersky uniqueness in our global expertise and also experience in as being the cybersecurity provider as well. Of course, if you browse into the internet, you can see that Kaspersky has consistently worked with a lot of national government, like for example, National CERT, various national cybersecurity agencies as well as enforcement agencies. These are some of the snapshots that I picked it up to show you, and these are not the old one. These are the latest one, at least last year in 2024, and of course currently in 2025, such as the operations called Red Card and the operations Secure, whereby Kaspersky collaborate with enforcement agencies like Interpol and Afripol on cybersecurity operations against malicious operators, malicious infrastructure of phishing, banking malware, and also ransomware as well. So this is an example to demonstrate Kaspersky in the enterprise when we collaborate and we are being recognized by enforcement agencies through such joint operations. Let's quickly go to Kaspersky cybersecurity framework. When we look into Kaspersky cybersecurity framework, we look into the cybersecurity ecosystem strategy. What is Kaspersky cybersecurity ecosystem strategy? At the end of the day, the message of Kaspersky in this cybersecurity ecosystem strategy is to help the customers to strengthen the digital defenses, right? Whether in the form of hardening, prevent, response, detect, and investigate. And these 5 areas that is being mentioned in this slide as part of the cybersecurity ecosystem strategy actually is based on what we call cybersecurity adaptive framework. It's an industry cybersecurity framework whereby our Kaspersky solutions or services we're able to help customers to provide a strengthening ecosystem for resilience when it comes to detection, when it comes to response, when it comes to containment, when it comes to protection, and when it comes to prevention. So let's go to look into a more zoom in of what Kaspersky offers. So if you look into this is the entire portfolio, not all the products, but all the products within the portfolio that Kaspersky has, and Kaspersky call it Kaspersky Cybersecurity Framework. It's a stage-by-stage framework approach whereby we approach to organization and to customers to say, hey, let's look into your environment, let's look into your ecosystem, what you have, and let's look into your maturity. And that's the reason if you look into the Kaspersky Cybersecurity Framework, you can see there are 3 levels of maturity, 3 levels of stages, right? First level is security foundation, second level is optimum security, third level is expert security. In each of these levels of maturity, it determines the maturity of the organization. The portfolio that offers or ties to each level of maturity, like security foundations and optimum security and expert security, has a specific goal. For example, security foundations portfolio is actually help organizations based on that maturity to protect against what we call commodity threats, common threats, right? And then if those organizations are less mature, but they want to upgrade their cybersecurity defenses, so they can upgrade to optimum security, whereby it provides protection against more complex threats. For example, ransomware. For organizations that are enterprise in nature, they are very, very mature, whereby they have a number of IT security resources. They have SOC. They use sophisticated cybersecurity tools. But there are certain areas that they have gap, and they want to upgrade those areas. They want to minimize those gaps so that they can increase or improve their cybersecurity maturity, to improve their defenses, to improve their protection. And this is where they can go to expert security portfolio, whereby the portfolio in the expert security actually provides protections for the organization in such maturity against very complex and very APT-like attacks. And this is what we call stage-by-stage cybersecurity approach in the Kaspersky cybersecurity framework. Of course, in each of these maturity, the size or the maturity of the organization are also depending on what type of resource you have, what type of cybersecurity tools you have, and what are the goals, right, or the KPIs that you want to improve in future within 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years when it comes to cybersecurity maturity, defenses, or framework. Security foundation is common, is required for all organizations in respect of maturity. Every organization, before you go to optimum security or you go to expert security, you should always look into security foundation first, because it provides what we call a multi-layer approach. And this is exactly fit by Kaspersky cybersecurity framework, whereby we adopt multi-layer approach to provide defense in depth, so that there is not a single point of we call in the market we call it failure, but in us there is no single point of attack, right? And because of that, if you look into security foundations of Kaspersky, we provide protections, we provide defenses at the endpoint level, at the service level, including the hybrid scenarios, at the embedded systems, at the infrastructure that includes the email and web services, at the storage, and the Office 365 as well. So that what Kaspersky Security Foundation offers is it provides a complete visibility, control, and protection of all aspects of the organization's IT infrastructure. And this is why Kaspersky Security Foundation is essential for all organizations of every size. So this is what I have mentioned to you. I won't go down deep. This is what Kaspersky portfolio offers to organizations that wants to strengthen their defenses and protection at the foundation level, right? And this is the portfolio of Kaspersky. And for organizations that is not at the enterprise level, but probably more on the SMB level, right? But they still have a desire or have KPI to increase their to strengthen their defenses in terms of optimum protections or even defense upgrade, right? They want to have advanced detections using machine learning or using AI, right? They want to do a bit of threat intelligence, but not so sophisticated because they do not have deep expertise resources. They want to be able to investigate, not just to detect, right? It help them to do some level of automated response. They want to increase the maturity, the cybersecurity awareness of the organization when it comes to cybersecurity. And this is part of what we call preventions in the adaptive cybersecurity framework. All these things is actually part of what Kaspersky call it optimum security. So this is the optimum security that falls under Kaspersky optimum security portfolios, right? So you can see in this as well. Finally, it is more for enterprise and to the high level of enterprise. For the enterprise and high level of enterprise of maturity for resiliency, we focus on 3 pillars. Kaspersky focus to deliver on these 3 pillars, right? One is equip, one is inform, one is reinforce. Basically, what we believe is in enterprise, they might have in-house expert, but they do not have the right tools, they do not have the right technology. And this is where Kaspersky, under the Kaspersky Expert Security, is able to build the defenses and the strength, the maturity of the organizations to provide them the equip, right, the right tools and the right technologies, right, to detect, to respond and to optimize any critical workloads and infrastructures that they need to protect. Of course, inform are more focused on resources, right? The internal resource of the organizations, right? The internal resources might have the organizations, but they don't have the in-depth skills. They don't have the knowledge of what they call the threats data, right? Remember, we talked about the threats data that Kaspersky has detected via Kaspersky Security Network and via our global research and analyst teams, right? Those threat data, we are able to allow the internal resource of an organizations to have that threat knowledge, so that when before even they experience it, when they detect something and they see it with threat intelligence, by enriching the pool, the knowledge threats data of their internal resources, they are able to very promptly and very fast to respond. They know what to do, they know how to respond, right? And of course, when you talk about the skill set of the experts, internal expert, Kaspersky is also able to help by providing what we call expert trainings, right, to deal with complex incidents. And finally, reinforcement. And this is where we work with partners, we work with national government agencies, we work with enforcement agencies, whereby Kaspersky act as a reinforcement agent, right, as an external expert for assessment, for immediate support, for managed defense, such as managed detection and response, such as incident response services as well, and as well as various expert services, whereby we are able to help the organizations to strengthen their cybersecurity defense as well as their cybersecurity maturity. These are the three pillars of a maturity-based approach that Kaspersky adopt in the Kaspersky expert security for enterprise and high enterprise organizations. So these are again the portfolio that Kaspersky has break out under the inform, the equip, and reinforce. So if you talk about inform, it's all about Kaspersky threat intelligence. It's all about Kaspersky experts trainings, and you can just see from the slides. And when you talk about Kaspersky reinforce, it's all about Kaspersky expert services. You can see that Kaspersky offers various form of assessment services, whether it's cyber drill, compromise assessments, red teaming, incident response readiness, tabletop exercise, security maturity assessment, as well as response services such as detection and response services such as MDR, incident response, digital forensics. So these are part of what Kaspersky offers as part of the reinforcement maturities. Finally, the common one is equip, right? As I mentioned, equip pillar basically is all about Kaspersky. Under the Kaspersky expert security portfolio, we provide tools and technologies to equip the organizations to be able to detect and to respond cyber threats, right? And this is where in the industry, everyone is talking about Kaspersky Next XDR, anti-targeted attack platforms for network traffic analysis, EDR experts, and of course, Kuma, right? Kuma is Kaspersky SIEM, which I will cover more in the next sessions. My colleague Sam has also briefly mentioned, I will also briefly mention here, one of the uniqueness of Kaspersky is we offer a single management platform for the convergence of IT and OT environments. If you are an organization and you need to manage cybersecurity, not only for IT, but for OT, and this is where Kaspersky fits into your environment and into your requirements, because Kaspersky has both the cybersecurity portfolio for IT as well as the cybersecurity portfolio for OT, for the industry cybersecurity, and as well as we are able to provide a single management platform to manage the convergence of IT and OT environment when it comes to cybersecurity framework. This is just a brief of what I just want to show you, the portfolio of the industrial security or the OT, right? Which is not cover or part of the Kaspersky cybersecurity framework, right? So, but the whole portfolio that Kaspersky has for industrial cybersecurity is quite comprehensive, that we cover from the endpoint perspective to the network perspective. We thus offers expert services such as security assessment, incident response, threat intelligence, and MDR for OT networks for critical infrastructure as well. This is the overall perceptions that Kaspersky has if you've not heard of Kaspersky Next, right? And this is also if previously, if you are really focused and zoom in the Kaspersky cybersecurity framework, you can see three levels, right? The foundations, the optimum, and the expert. And in the left-hand side, right, you can actually see Kaspersky Next EDR foundations, Kaspersky Next EDR optimum, and Kaspersky Next XDR as well. And this is where the value proposition of Kaspersky Next for a complete IT protection, right? Whereby from prevention perspective, Kaspersky provides an offering called Kaspersky Next EDR Foundations, But if an organization want to upgrade their protections to provide better defenses, to provide better protections, right? And these are not so mature organizations. They can actually go with Kaspersky Next EDR Optimum and subscribe to Kaspersky MDR service. But if for organizations that are enterprise and high enterprise maturity, they can actually go even more sophisticated because they have resources, internal resources, and they are in an environment whereby they have a team they are ready for a sophistication tools. Then they can actually go to expert level or to goes to Kaspersky Next XDR. Of course, for reinforcement, they can also subscribe to Kaspersky MDR. The value proposition is the whole portfolio of Kaspersky Next, whether it's EDR, XDR, or MDR, will actually help the organization to scale and to adopt based on their maturity and readiness, right? Whether in the form of budget, whether the form of maturity, whether the form of resources, right? And of course, we can scale their maturity, their KPI, right? In cybersecurity from prevention to detection, from detection to threat hunting. Of course, detection and threat hunting is very important today in the discussion because we are not talking about protection against commodity threats, 100% known malicious common threats, right? But we are talking about partially known malicious threats. And more importantly, the industry are worried for 0 days threats, right? It's unknown, right? Such as threat actors. So detection is important, but threat hunting is also important. And you can see that in this framework, right, it's actually moving from preventions, right? When you talk about preventions, it's more on what we call reactive, right? But when you go to detect and find, it's more on proactive. And this is the maturity of an infrastructure when it comes to cybersecurity resilience from a reactive to a proactive framework. This is also shows, as I mentioned just now in the previous slide, the uniqueness of what Kaspersky offers in the Kaspersky cybersecurity framework is we are able to be adopted by many organizations. That's why if you have talked to the industry, you talk to Kaspersky salesperson, you talk to Kaspersky partner, you talk to Kaspersky distributor, you know that all our customers actually are from different sides, right? Because simply Kaspersky in this Kaspersky cybersecurity framework, under the 3 level of maturity, whether it's foundations, whether it's optimum, with the exception of expert security are more for enterprise, high enterprises, is able to adopt by customers from a medium maturity to high medium maturity to a very enterprise level of maturity. And this is what this slide is about, because especially with Kaspersky Next, right, we are able to help the customers to scale, right, and to grow their maturity from a medium maturity to high medium to enterprise or high level of maturity. And this slide basically shows that when you come to this different level of maturity or category of maturity, what do you have in the organization? Do you have IT department, or you are just have a IT security? Do you have an IT department only, or you have an information security department team within the IT department, or you have a totally large team of IT security, whereby you have an SOC team, you have a malware analysis team, and this is what maturity-based approach or framework is all about. Just quickly go through quickly to show that, as I mentioned, Kaspersky has been in the industry, being help organizations for many years as the global cybersecurity providers. And this is not new to Kaspersky, and Kaspersky consistently ensure all Kaspersky products are being tested and being reviewed to ensure that all Kaspersky products and solutions meet the industry benchmarking and requirements as well. And you can see that till today, Kaspersky has consistently probably one of the top when it comes to independent test and review to ensure that Kaspersky products and solutions continue to receive recognitions, and also to ensure that Kaspersky has been the forefront to ensure that all our products and solutions are able to meet the industry benchmarking. This is also some of the things that I want to show to you why if you have not used Kaspersky yet, why should you consider Kaspersky, and why should you choose Kaspersky as your trusted cybersecurity partner and provider as well? As I also mentioned, Kaspersky works with many various enforcement agencies and national cybersecurity agencies as well, with the name of Interpol, Europol, and Afrikpol. Kaspersky also, one of the core pillars of Kaspersky is our Kaspersky Great Team, Global Research Analyst team, and also all the various expert services team that we actually help customers when it comes to cybersecurity defenses and protections globally as well. Also, of course, we recognize them as a partner as if they work with us, like Giga OM, Frost and Sullivan, and some of these partners that actually continue to recognize Kaspersky as a leader in the cybersecurity provider, and because of that, they continue to work with Kaspersky. If you're not clear about Kaspersky Global Transparency Initiative, I think this is very important, and especially if you have concern of Kaspersky, of using Kaspersky, of even determining to evaluate or to use Kaspersky, and this is what you should look into, called Kaspersky Global Transparency Initiative, whereby Kaspersky has a data center that any data that comes from outside Russia, they will all store in the data center in Zurich, Switzerland. And any data that is locally stored and processed in Zurich, Switzerland, will need to comply with GDPR, right? And because of that, as you know, Europe through GDPR is the most restrictive and most comprehensive data protections and regulations acts, right? And Kaspersky continues to comply to ensure that we are able to address many concerns our customer has, right? Kaspersky also have Transparency Center, which I want to say in these sessions, whereby if organizations that have some concerns in some codes or some parts of Kaspersky software, or even using Kaspersky software, right? And actually the customers with the right skills, with the right resource, they can actually request Kaspersky to look into the source code, okay, to scan the source code to ensure that that will address their concern, but only within the Kaspersky Transparency Center. And you can see that globally, we nearly have many transparency centers located globally, also as well as in Asia Pacific as well. There are other independent review, just like SOC Type 2 audit certification. Recently, Kaspersky has again recertified for SOC 2 Type 2 audit certification, recertified for ISO 27001 audit certification as well, and likewise. Okay, with this, I'm going to end my sessions. Before I go to the next session, I will pass back to the host.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor, for that really insightful presentation. And now that we've covered the framework and the tech behind it, it's time to bring it all together in our next session, a fireside chat that takes a real world look at what enterprises truly need from a CM solution today. Moderating the session is Jasmine Tang, Head of Corporate Communications for Kaspersky in Asia Pacific. Desmond has over 20 years of experience in PR and marketing, and he's been instrumental in shaping Kaspersky's communication strategies across the region. He has a deep understanding of both the media landscape and cybersecurity market, and today he'll be guiding us through an honest, no fluff discussion on what enterprises really need from a CM solution today. Joining him are our earlier speakers, Sam Yan and Victor Chu. Jasmine, I'll give the stage to you.
Thank you very much, Ella. And good morning, everyone, and warm welcome to all of you. So thank you so much for staying with us in this exclusive session, The Reality Check, What Enterprises Need in SIEM Today. So once again, my name is Jasmine, and it's a pleasure to moderate this session. So today's fireside chat is all about advancing your security operations. And it's about rethinking how enterprises like yours can build resilience in a fast evolving threat landscape. So as you have heard from Victor, you have heard from Sam, that, today cyber attack grows more targeted and persistent. We know for a fact that protecting your IT infrastructure is not about detection or response. It's about holistic, proactive, integrated solution. And most importantly, it adapts to your business needs. So today, in this session, we're going to take a deep dive about how Kaspersky Security Framework and modern SIEM solution are helping businesses across the region. Okay, so to set the stage, let's have a quick chat with Sam. All right. So just Sam, I think you've mentioned a lot, and as the country manager, as the person that is doing the business day in day out, how do you see the local cybersecurity maturity evolving in the Philippines, and what roles does technology such as SIEM play?
Hey, thank you, Desmond, for the question. I think everybody understand that cybersecurity maturity in Philippines is steadily evolving, right? Because it's driven by the increasing digital transformation, heightening of the regulatory attention, and a growing awareness of the cyber threats across the sector, right? And if you look at it, growing awareness and regulatory push, especially coming from the regulatory bodies like MPC, BSP, they are enforcing stricter data protection and risk management guidelines, right? This is one of the very key involvement evolution in Philippines. The second thing is actually investing in the investment of infrastructure and skills, right? As we all know, businesses are increasingly investing in cybersecurity solution and training to meet compliance and defense against sophisticated attacks. The growing demand for local cybersecurity professional, and we all understand there is a talent gap. This continues to be a challenge. And now the third thing is actually with the cyber threat, the increasing of cyber threat, right? Now, a lot of organizations are shifting towards from reactive security to proactive security, right? Because people are actually closely monitoring the incident response, right? So, what are the key roles of SIEM? Number one is basically looking at centralizing monitoring threat and threat detection, right? So SIEM solution actually aggregate logs and security data across system, and most importantly, give real-time visibility and correlation of threats, all right, to the organization. The second thing is, as I mentioned about the regulatory body pushed, right? Regulatory compliance support, right, is also very important. And hence, SIEM actually helps organization to generate audit trails, reports to comply the local laws, such as Data Privacy Act, and also industry-specific mandates. The third thing is actually incident response and forensic. Okay, this one will help them to basically accelerate investigation and response by providing context-rich alerts and timeline of security events. The last for SIEM basically is about bridging the skills gap, right? As many modern SIEM tools now incorporate AI and automation. And this one help to enable lean IT team to basically manage and respond threat more effectively, right? So these are the four key roles of SIEM. And now we all know that Philippines is on a positive trajectory in cybersecurity maturity. As threats evolve, technology and SIEM become a fundamental in helping organizations move towards a more resilient, compliance, and intelligence-driven security posture, right? So this is very critical because SIEM not only support real-time detection, give and respond, give you the full visibility, it also plays a very strategic role in enabling continuous improvement in any organization security maturity model. Thank you.
Got it, Sam. I think thank you. So that's quite elaborate because you talk about we talk about compliance, we talk about how you have logs and monitoring. There's such a there's such quite a holistic view. But I want to know, how easy is it? I think our attendees today is also quite curious. So for Victor, I want to ask you. So for example, if we were to integrate Kuma, into existing infrastructures per se, because everybody, we heard about it, we know about this product, and we are interested to jump on board. So is it more like a plug and play kind of solution, or it's much more complicated than that? Victor, what do you think?
You can hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
For audience here, the next sessions I will talk about Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma. But just to answer my colleague's question is, Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma actually is designed to integrate seamlessly with existing infrastructure. So that is actually the key uniqueness of Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma, right? The way how we integrate is kind of like plug and play, but it's not really a plug and play thing in the ways that you don't have to do anything, right? But when you configure to integrate with certain resources, right? So such as the common one is firewall, right? Basically, all firewall will actually have to support what we call syslog, right? So there's a bit of technicality, but as Kuma is designed to integrate seamlessly with existing infrastructure, such as firewall, it will support syslog connector, right? So with syslog connector, all you need is just to choose which type of firewall, and this is where the integrations magic take place. That's all you need to do. So there is
so there's
no
not
yeah,
complicated
there's no
at all. Like
there's no development, there's no scripting, there's no programming that you actually need to do just to integrate Kuma with the existing infrastructure such as firewall.
Amazing. And knowing that it is such a simple solution, I want to get back to Sam, because you spoke earlier that in the Philippines, the market, the industry itself, is maturing, and people are getting on board. They are getting better understanding towards cybersecurity. So in this case, in terms of your observation, what do you think the local market is seeing, like in terms of the adoption? What is stopping everybody? Is it like the cost? Is it the complexity, or what could be the reason that are stopping people from jumping into SIEM today?
I think there are a few factors that we can take note. Number one is the skills shortages, the limited pool of trained cybersecurity professional, right? That is one of the reasons. The second thing is, the way I look at it is the awareness and prioritization, right? Many organizations underestimate cyber risk until they experience an incident, right? So hence it becomes reactive than taking rather than a proactive strategy, right? The third factor, which I think because there's a lot of legacy system in place, right? So hence it limits the integration with modern cybersecurity tools. And as such, if you look at Kaspersky SIEM solution, and even our next solution, we integrate with many applications, with many modern or even legacy systems. So these are actually the few factors which I think, other than cost sensitivity, complexity of solutions, right? But our technology, especially Kaspersky, we can integrate with any third-party application, or even coexist with any endpoint solution to provide a holistic and comprehensive solution as a platform to help organization enable, as well as to ensure that they are ready for cyber threats and compliance.
Thank you. So I was speaking to some of the partners recently, and they told me that many of their users actually struggle with complexity. So on one hand, you tell me that it is Sam. You told me that it is there are some complexity to it, and while Victor is telling me that it's actually very simple. It's simple to integrate. So I think that there has to be some form of like a bridge. So I kept thinking about Victor's presentation earlier, where Victor, you mentioned a lot like maturity, maturity, maturity. I think this is probably the bridge, right? Like to really understand where is your entry point, really know where you're going in. So to make things simple, maybe Victor, you can explain to us what makes Kuma or SIEM of Kaspersky more accessible or adaptable, particularly in terms of the enterprises that are emerging in the market. So it's exactly what Sam mentioned for Philippines, especially. What do you think?
So absolutely, many enterprises, especially in emerging markets, right, we still find traditional SIEMs complex, costly, and also resource intensive, and that's a fact, right? But what makes Kuma, or in short, Kaspersky SIEM unique, stand out is its flexibility, simplicity, as well as affordability, right? So the design of Kaspersky Kuma, or in short Kaspersky SIEM, right, is the adaptivity that makes Kuma, when you deploy a Kuma, you can start with small first, right? For example, if I'm a financial organization, right, I need to comply, but I just need to comply only. I don't need to build a SOC first, right? I just need to comply. And one of the compliance requirement is log management. All you need is to find a platform to be able to collect the logs, monitor the logs. That's all. And this is where you checklist the compliance. And Kaspersky Kuma, or Kaspersky SIEM in short, you basically can deploy to start with that first, to integrate with all those logs from those log sources that needs to comply. And at that point, you are not ready to build a SOC yet. You are not ready on the maturity to build SOC, to have resources to do threat monitoring, to do detection and response, right? So, but when it comes to the time, you can scale up Kaspersky Kuma or Kaspersky SIEM from that level of maturity to that level of maturity. So in that sense, right, in future, from log management, you can actually go to correlations, right? Security correlations, to security monitoring, to threat detections, to threat response, right? And this adaptability in Kuma actually is ideal for all these customers that have the environment with various level of maturity as well as modular design, right? The modular design of Kuma is also being designed or being built for scale by those organizations. The licensing is also being built for that flexibility as well, that you can start small, so your licensing is much more smaller, and as you grow, you can increase your licensing with based on the maturity that you want to deploy Kuma for that particular purpose or reasons.
Okay, thank you. So I've been like looking at the polls, and I see like 43% of people already have EDR. So they somewhat know what you're talking about and 25% has SIM. That's like one SIM. So there's like 1/4. A quarter of the people are already in the game. They already know what's going on. They are on track. This is precisely echoing what Sam has mentioned earlier. So Victor, just to follow up a little bit, I mean, you mentioned there is like a lot of levels, Is there like a guidebook or something that anyone can follow, or should they talk to you? Should they talk to Sam? What should a CISO or somebody, if they really wants to know, besides reading all the stuff on the internet, they maybe want an expert to like sit down and check all the boxes with them. What is the best approach for them to do this? Is it download something or talk to you or talk to somebody?
Yeah, I let Sam to feedback on this.
Sam.
Yeah, Sam.
Okay, maybe Sam. So what should the CISO do, or what should somebody do in terms of that?
Yeah, so there are many ways to do this. Of course, one is to basically engage the Kaspersky team. I'm always there for sure. I come to Philippines every month. That is one. Two is really to engage our focused value partners in Philippines who has all the skill set. We train. There are a few things that we always do in ensuring that customer has a good engagement with Kaspersky. Right. Number one, the belief is always to basically, of course, engage Kaspersky. We are more than happy to engage you. Two is that Kaspersky believe in training our partners to ensure that they have the skill set ready to support the customer on a daily basis. And these are the few ways that we can engage each other. And of course, we will share our emails. If you need to engage me, we are more than happy to do that. And of course, we have our local representative in Philippines to engage the customer. And of course, experts like Victor, who is from a technical perspective, he always help and support AAC countries like Philippines to engage the customer. All right. So these are few ways. And most importantly, we want a very proactive. We want to have continuous engagement with customers like this.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. You're open. You have your team members. You have everybody readily to assist the market if needed. So I'm conscious of time. I know we are pretty much over for this discussion, but I want to take some questions from the audience. In case, so ladies and gentlemen on the call, I would appreciate it if you have any questions for Sam or Victor. We can quickly address it, or if there's some burning questions for anything that they've said, something that you want some further clarification, let's do that right now. Do we have any questions in the panel? Because I am looking at my admin panel and I couldn't see the questions. Let me see. Okay, so while we wait for that, and just to add a little bit, right? Maybe Sam, there are questions on the tab. Okay, wait, let me see. I'm clicking on. I'll be happy to share my screen, but I really don't see the questions tab. So Elizabeth, do you mind posting some of the questions in the one?
Hi, Jasmine. All right, so
Hi,
I can
Ella.
see the questions on my end. I was just thinking maybe I can ask them for you.
Sure.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So our first question is, can Kaspersky's SIEM integrate other cybersecurity solutions?
Okay. Victor, can you take that question, please?
Yeah, due to time constraint, I just briefly answer this question. So the answer is yes. Kaspersky Puma, or Kaspersky SIEM in short, is designed to integrate with various cybersecurity solutions. Right. At the end of the day, the concept of correlations is able to mine and gather all these security events from various security solutions and provide you a single view.
Thank you. So strange, Ella, because I know for a fact that the questions tab, there's a question mark right beside the admin panel, and
Yeah.
it totally disappeared. It was fine before, but I don't see it there. Okay. So what is the next question that we can address?
All right, no worries. So the second question is, can you share feedback from organizations that are already using Kuma in their environments?
So maybe Sam, I think this is more of a question for you, because we want to know about organization. Maybe in terms of the type of verticals, I think that would really help to know within the industry which kind of verticals are already on board in terms of jumping into SIEM.
I think using SIEM, basically a lot of organizations like the BF, like banking, the insurance, government services, they are looking at compliance to use this, right? So these are the two key verticals. But of course, SIEM solution can be used across industry. It's not just restricted just only from banking, the BFSI, or the government services, right? Because SIEM is actually monitoring to actually to monitor your application and all your legacy system, right? As long that is a mandate or a compliance perspective, SIM can be used in all across industry. But of course, if you look at use cases for us, we have many, right? From government services to BFSI to manufacturing to even large enterprises. We have many customers across the world, across the globe, and even in APAC perspective, there are many customers using our SIEM solution, and also integrating with other cybersecurity solution as well, like what my colleague Victor mentioned.
Thank you, Sam. Ella, do we have another question on board?
All right. So we have another question. Do we have a tool or solution that monitors financial transactions for possible fraud in real time, like detecting unusual behavior or alerting on risky patterns in online or mobile banking?
Thank you. So tools. So definitely we are talking about a little bit technicality. Victor, I think this is pretty much your area, but it sounds like we are talking about a completely different product altogether. Am I right, Victor?
Yeah, so just to answer the question briefly as well, the answer is yes. It's not part of the Kaspersky cybersecurity framework, but Kaspersky does has a solution called Kaspersky Fraud Prevention. So Kaspersky Fraud Prevention is designed for that particular purposes, but of course, we have to know the detail of the requirements. Then we can only determine whether Kaspersky Fraud Preventions are able to meet all your requirements or not. But in short, in general, the answer is yes.
That's good. Thank you so much, Victor. Ella?
Okay. All right. So we have another question. How is Kuma addressing zero-day exploits, and how does Kuma licensing work?
Okay, Kuma, it's two different questions, right? Kuma
Yeah.
addressing the framework, and Sam, are you interested to take this one? Maybe
I will let.
licensing.
Yeah, I will take the second part, and maybe Victor on the first portion from a framework perspective.
Yeah, Victor, please go ahead, Victor.
So basically, as I mentioned, right, Kuma is like an engine, right? It's a platform, but it's an engine, right? What the engine does is it gathers all the logs from various sources, whether it's servers, whether it's security devices, whether it's applications, and then they mine all the logs, they analyze all the events to provide you a single view, right? So the way how you want to detect a 0 days attacks or a 0 days related threats is you have to make sure, like for example, most of you has mentioned that you have already deployed a EDR, right? So when you deploy a EDR, you can integrate EDR with Kaspersky Kuma. You can also integrate your firewalls with Kaspersky Kuma. You can also integrate a proxy with Kaspersky Kuma as well. So when Kaspersky Kuma integrate and gather all these logs and analyze all these events coming from your EDR tools, from your EDR systems or your proxy, from your firewall, and they will analyze it as a single view, and they will correlate it. Correlate it basically means understand how it flows the events from one to another, right? Like for example, before the 0 day starts, it has to go where does it start? Probably the users clicks a 0 days malware through a phishing website, right? And once it clicks to the 0 days malware through the phishing websites, it drops the malware, the 0 days malware into your laptop. Your EDR tool might detect, your EDR tool might not detect, right? It all depends, right? Of course, if your EDR tool detects that, obviously from Kuma perspective, it will be able to detect and to say that this is how the story starts and this is how the story ends, right? Of course, the story ends normally is a bad story lah, whereby the 0 days attacks brings down your servers, right? 20 of your servers goes down, right? Touch wood, right? Your whole network infrastructure got denial of service attack, right? So this is basically what Kuma does, but provides you at a single view instead of for you to go 2 by 2, system by systems to detect and to investigate or to analyze. So Kuma is able to provide you a single view for you to analyze, for you to detect, and for you to monitor as well.
Yeah, so thank you, Victor. So I think what you're trying to say is, in a case of an incident, when something actually happens, you actually have a story. You can immediately view the log and you know what's happening. With a little bit of guidance from the Kuma system itself, you are able to navigate yourself better if you're being questioned by the authorities or law enforcement agencies. You have some form of evidence that you've already done your best, and there is a timeline for you to share. In fact, like what Sam mentioned earlier, that regulatory bodies are asking for this kind of information. And if, let's say, in the case of an attack, they would ask you, where are your logs for the last 2 years? And if you don't have a solution like SIEM or Kuma, you're unable to do this story, and investigating this would be really a tedious and meticulous task. Okay, so I'm conscious of time. Let's for whatever questions that we have not able to take, Ella, we will answer them individually. But Sam, we still need you to answer the licensing bit, the last question that we have earlier.
All right.
Please just give a short one, and then I'll summarize the session and we can end this. All right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Jasmine. So, from a Kuma licensing, how does it work? Kaspersky actually licensed Kuma by event per second. So we calculate by EPS. And how do we do that? We use it from a average per 24 hours. Okay. And how do we size the data? We size the data by normalization. All right. While a lot of industry players are actually sizing it based on raw data. So if you look at that from a cost efficiency perspective, definitely Kaspersky licensing model is more cost effective than the other industry player. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Sam. So today we have learned quite a bit. We've learned that it's Kuma SIEM is a very efficient, cost efficient. It's an efficient product. It's an efficient tool. We can address different maturities. The cybersecurity industry landscape is growing, and all our attendees, they're somewhat knowledgeable in terms of this area. Is how do they jump onto this system to adapt the right framework, a more holistic review and holistic approach. So for everyone listening in, thank you so much for paying attention for this session. I will hand this session back to you, Ella, and thank you for assisting the Q&A. And nice day.
Thank you so much, Jasmine, for spearheading our fireside chat. And of course, to Sam and Victor for sharing your insights and, of course, answering our questions. So we're moving over to the last part of our program. I'll be sharing the stage once again to Victor Chu, the Head of Systems Engineering for Southeast Asia Enterprise Cybersecurity at Kaspersky. He will walk us through the Kuma Deep Dive, the anatomy of a modern SIEM. Victor, over to you.
Okay, Ella. Ella, you can see full presenter mode.
Yes, we can see the full screen. All right,
Okay.
I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Ella. Okay, this is the next sessions that I would like to go with you in depth about Kaspersky Kuma. We call it Kaspersky Unified Monitoring and Analysis Platform. It's pretty long name, but I will address it because in short, it's basically Kaspersky SIEM. Due to time constraints, some slides I might go through very fast, or I might also skip it. But of course, do let us know if you have any questions later about Kaspersky SIEM. So when you talk about SIEM, I hope that most of you will understand what is SIEM is about, right? In short, SIEM basically means security informations and event management. So when you refer to SIEM, basically it refers to the ability to collect logs centrally from various sources, right? SIEM, the main core of SIEM is all about collecting and managing logs, right? And if an SIEM does not have ability to collect and managing logs and monitor logs, then by nature, by basis, is not an SIEM. So that's the reason why SIEM must have the ability to collect logs centrally from various sources, right? And of course, collection is one thing, but ability to store and to manage all the logs securely for retention is also another thing. But of course, from being a log management to SIEM, right? Basically, an SIEM has evolved, right? From collections to management and monitoring of logs. It is able to analyze the logs, and this is where we call events logs, right? So an SIEM must be able to monitor all the events from the logs and analyze the logs from all the logs collected. And when we say we monitor and analyze all the logs that collected, basically what type of events they are talking about? Of course, it's a SIEM, right? It's not an NIEM, right? Or it's not an AIIEM, right? So basically, S stands for security, right? So it doesn't refer to network, it doesn't refer to infrastructure as well. So basically, when we talk about the events, right, we are talking about security events, right? On the basis of to analyze the events from the logs, right, is to monitor security events to be able to identify and investigate threats. Secondly, is to be able to generate alerts upon detecting security threats or incidents. Of course, you will also ask, right? So, why do we have SIEM since an XDR technology comes in place? Of course, as I mentioned, SIEM is important still today because due to log management ability to collect, to monitor and to manage all the logs you collected, especially from the compliance and from regulatory reasons, right? And that's why SIEM is still valid to many organizations today, especially the organizations that need to checklist on compliance or regulations. This is why and what is Kuma for, right? Or Kaspersky SIEM, right? So typically, the common use case that many organizations, including many of our existing customers that currently use Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma, first thing is always compliance, always regulations, right? Centralized log management, right? Collect, store, manage, and monitor all the logs securely, right? And for retention as well. That's one, right? And of course, for as I say, Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma is designed for adaptability. So basically, you can start with log management first, and as you build your maturity towards up, right, whereby you probably want to set up a SOC team or a monitoring team. You want to set up a SOC monitoring infrastructure, right? Or because you want to increase the maturity of your organizations, right? To have a visibility of different tools or technologies, security tools or technology you have, right? This is where you can actually scale and leverage and adapt Kuma, right, or Kaspersky SIEM to deliver security monitoring and everything. And of course, if you have resources, you can also use Kaspersky SIEM for incident management, for threat detection as well. So all in all, these are the four common use cases that apart from compliance and regulations that many of the organizations or of Kaspersky customers that currently use Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma. This is an overview of Kaspersky SIEM architecture. Due to time constraint, I will not want to explain very detailed. and also it can be very technical as well. So if you look into the Kaspersky SIEM architecture, it actually built on microservices, and each of these microservices are very scalable. It can scale from a small environment to a high enterprise environment. For example, you can split into what we call a distributed microservices architecture, whereby you can distribute like console have its own correlator, collector if you have multiple locations. With each of these locations, you have multiple sources of devices, right? Storage as well. In terms of storage, Kaspersky SIEM or Kaspersky Kuma can support hot storage, can support cold storage, can also support third-party archiving storage as well. Of course, for bandwidth throttling, we have a component called event router, whereby it acts as a proxy to collect the logs, right? To collect and to normalize the logs before it goes to the core components of Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma to correlate and to analyze the events logs, right? So basically, there are a lot of built-in responses as well in Kuma, and I will share with you in the later slide. Some of these responses are basically almost like considered plug and play, is out of the box as well. Kaspersky SIEM architecture has also designed to integrate with threat intelligence instead of using an open source, right? So you can actually integrate threat intelligence seamlessly to enrich the events that you have get from the logs to be able to give you a better view, a better context if this is really a threat and what is this threat is related. For enterprise and high enterprise, or for those organizations going into MSSP model, you can actually leverage APIs. So Kaspersky SIEM is with microservice architecture is built in to support to have also API support as well to integrate with various external systems. This is some of the out of the box. When we talk about complexity, especially when it comes to integrations, Kaspersky SIEM is being developed as much as out of the box support. Of course, as today is at least 300 over sources can be integrated out of the box, and each day, each month, as it needs, Kaspersky continue to add this as part of the out of the box to integrate with the sources. And the way how Kaspersky integrate with the sources is, if you look into here, the two important aspect is you look into the connector and normalizer, right? And if you look at the connector and normalizers, right, most of the time, right, these are the common connectors and normalizers that all the security devices, all the security systems uses. For example, when you talk about connectors, you talk about probably HTTP, you talk about SQL connections to the databases, you talk about SNMP, you talk about net flows for network data, right? You talk about TCP and UDP, right? And you talk about normalizers, you talk about CEF, you talk about syslog, you talk about net flow as well, you talk about XLM, you talk about leaf as well. So these are the common normalizer, and with the common connectors and normalizers that Kaspersky has out of the box, we can integrate with most common security systems or security devices that is in the market. Of course, as I say, Kaspersky continue to add more and more as it goes as well. There are a lot of out of the box correlation rules. What correlation rules does is this is the next level of maturity, whereby you want to deploy and adopt Kuma not only for centralized log management, but also for security events monitoring and detections, right? So this is where you depends on the correlations engines, right? Or the correlation rules, right? So there's a lot of built-in out-of-the-box correlation rules that's developed by Kaspersky. Of course, as Kaspersky help many organizations organize customer as well, and we think that these correlation rules are very relevant and useful for most of the organization. This correlation rule will be also be incorporated as part of the out of the box in Kaspersky SIEM. So the way Kaspersky correlation rules works in Kuma is when it receive and collect all the logs, it analyze all the logs, is able to tell you based on the correlation engine whether there are some behavior that you think that is worth for you to investigate, whether there is a behavior, is the anomaly based on the events that you collect from the logs, and you will zoom in to that particular device, security device or the security system where you need to go to deeper investigation if it's required. And this is what correlation rules or the correlations engine is all about inside Kaspersky SIEM. I always think that when you develop a SOC, right, Kaspersky SIEM or SIEM technology is one of the probably a core basis, right? And MDR can also be a core basis, but MDR typically is focused very much on endpoint and probably network in a certain aspect, right? But when you have a SIEM technology such as Kaspersky SIEM or Puma, right, you are able to integrate as much as security device, as much as security systems possible, right? From firewall to a proxy, from proxy to a DLP, from a DLP to EDR, from EDR to NDR, and a lot more, right? And because of that, a SIEM technology such as Kaspersky SIEM or Puma, right, is able to provide you a single view on a single platform to do monitoring, to do investigation, to do analysis, right? And also to do alert as well, so that you know where to investigate, you know what to investigate, and by nature you are able to link the story together, how it begins and how it ends, and what are the impact, right? And this is what Kaspersky SIEM is all about. So in Puma, we actually have a SOC dashboard. I call it a SOC dashboard, whereby you can actually put all these events together in a single view in various dashboard, depend on what you want to see. And you can later in the slide, I can show you how flexible that you can actually create widgets, okay, to form the dashboard view that you want. And of course, when you receive the events, right, from all the logs that has been analyzed through the correlation engines, remember that one of the use case that Kaspersky Puma or Kaspersky's SIEM is able to do is to do security monitoring and also events threats detections, right? Whereby it's able to provide you some level of what we call incident management, right? So upon receiving the logs and after correlations and analysis of the logs, able based on the correlation rules, right, is able to trigger the events based on the correlation rules, right? And of course, this is a single incident management view whereby you can monitor all the alerts, right? But also you can also go to the details of each alerts and then tie it back to the events that you have collected, okay, and they have correlated together to give forward to your view. In other words, right, they probably detect these events from the firewall, from the proxy, and based on the anomaly they see in the firewall and the proxy, they match it to your correlation rules and they trigger these alerts to you. And this is what I meant. So basically, you can on the alerts you can see when this alert is being triggered, when these events that trigger these alerts has been observed. Do you observe the same events again? This is what we call first seen and last seen, and based on which correlation rules that you actually have created and defined to trigger these alerts, right? So you can see on the bottom, you can see all the related events that actually that Kaspersky Puma or Kaspersky SIEM has received and correlates to trigger this particular event in the related event section. So you can go to the detailed events from the time spans perspective, from the events details perspective, and you can also see like in the details events, which of the security devices actually Kaspersky Puma has received and correlated to trigger that event as well. So you can see that which correlation rules that trigger the events based on all these correlations from the events perspective. Of course, later I will share with you more. Kaspersky Kuma can actually integrate with Kaspersky Endpoint Security to gather more endpoints profiling informations for security events correlation as well as it can be integrated with Active Directory to look at the users profiling as well. So this is what I mean basically. So for security incident management, once you trigger the events, of course, the next step is you want to investigate, right? So you can go to the details in the Kuma to investigate the alerts, and upon the alerts, you can actually define whether this incident or this alert is critical, high, or medium, or low, right? And then once you define that, you can actually assign to a person that has access to Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma to investigate. And of course, once you have investigated, you can actually close the alert and give some feedback. And if you want to create another incident, you can actually create an incident to specifically define that based on this alert, this can be an incident, and you want to assign to appropriate personnel that have access to Kuma to start investigating using Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma. And once you're done, you can actually close the incident and close the alert as well. Of course, as I say, one of the core value of Kaspersky Kuma or Kaspersky SIEM is to investigate, right? It's not just to monitor, but to go to the details to investigate, to go to the details upon detections based on the events logs that Kaspersky Kuma receive. You can also do the appropriate response as well. The response can be a guidance response, or the response can be out of the box response based on what Kaspersky Kuma can support. So you can look at when you do investigations, you can actually choose various dates that you want the timeline. My colleagues, Jasmine has also talked about the timeline. So you can also look at the timeline. One of the good thing is with a single view, with all the events that you receive from various of the security devices in apart from going individually or manually, you can actually use Kaspersky Kuma based on the timeline to do your investigation. You can also look at the various informations that you needed from the events that you collected from the logs. Of course, if that events are not available from the logs that you collected, you will not able to see that from Kuma. So at the end of the day, the Kuma is what you see in a single view from Kuma. It depends on the type of events that you collected from the various of the log sources from the different security devices or systems. You can also do some threat hunting, but I won't call it a real threat hunting, but it's more useful for you to do a fast investigation whereby you are familiar with SQL query. You can actually do some query, or you can in the keywords you can actually run some simple query. But if you want to do some complex query that map to multiple conditions, then you have to do a SQL builder query. As I said, you can also see timeline. Apart from the manual times that you can actually filter, but you can also look at the timeline view based on the events that you receive. Right. So these are the of all the particular detailed events that you are able to view from Kuma, from the logs that you collected. From this is actually from Kaspersky Endpoint Security, whereby it actually detected someone is doing a port scan, right, using TCP on that particular on the network across the network, right. Again, what the uniqueness of Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma is, it not only support analysis of events from the logs that you collect, you integrate with Kuma and you collect from Kuma, but also you can actually analyze the network activity, right? How Kaspersky Kuma can analyze the network activity is you have to collect the network traffic or the network activity. So Kuma can also support what we call NetFlow or IPFix whereby it can integrate wire span to collect the network traffic and to analyze. Of course, there is a caveat. The caveat is when you want to collect the network flows or IPFix, using network flow or NetFlow or IPFix protocol to collect the network traffic for analysis, you will have to utilize your storage for more data storage and retention. And of course, there are more traffic. And when you have more traffic, you need to make sure that you're able to analyze to differentiate the traffic, because the more traffic you have, probably the occurrence of false positive will be more, right? So of course, with our correlation engine, we help you to analyze, but of course, it will also involve some human resources to be able to differentiate between the events that you collect from the logs and the events from the network, so that you know which one is applicable to you and which one is not applicable to you. Another core differentiator of the seamless integrations or the automation Kaspersky SIEM has or Puma is the integration with LDAP and Active Directory. So it's all configurable. There is no scripting. There is no programming. Basically, you can integrate Kaspersky Puma with Active Directory, so that when Puma or Kaspersky SIEM receive the events from your Active Directory, is able to not only tell you that this user is actually Active Directory user, is in the events is automatically understand that based on the events that provided by the Active Directory, is able to pass these events and show these events in a very user-friendly form, right? And this is out of the box integration with LDAP or Active Directory, as you see in this slide. For customers or organizations that use Kaspersky endpoint security you can actually integrate with Kaspersky Security Center, whereby you can do assets profiling. Right? Assets profiling is very important, especially for endpoint and servers, whereby we can do some level of vulnerability management, and with those vulnerability management, it can actually being integrated with Kaspersky SIEM to do correlations as well, so that if there is a detection of vulnerabilities or exposures in the endpoint security, this exposure can be correlated with other devices to see whether those vulnerability exposure has been exploited or not, and an alert or an event will be triggered based on your correlation policy. So this is asset profiling with Kaspersky endpoint security and can be integrated seamlessly with Kaspersky SIEM or Puma. So this, I just go a quick one to show you. This has already been done with CASI, and with CASI, once it's integrated, so basically you can see all this information in a single view within Kaspersky SIEM or Puma. But all this information actually come from CASI, from the access profiling that is profiled using CASI with CAS agent. You see, you can see all the assets profiling, and even with the assets profiling, it can trigger all these vulnerabilities inside the Kaspersky SIEM or Puma based on correlation. Of course, for organizations that are high mature, you can actually enrich your events with threat intelligence. It's also out of the box integration to do what we call contextual threat investigations. So basically, at times, right, you see a hash, right, that you collected from a proxy. You see a hash that is collected from a firewall, but you do not know whether the hash is malicious or not. The only way you know that if the hash is malicious or not, you can actually correlate it with threat intelligence. Instead of correlating with open source, many of the vendors or providers, they use open source, they provide you a lot of false positive. But with Kaspersky, we actually seamlessly integrate with Kaspersky Threat Intelligence to provide you contextual threat investigation to minimize the false positive, so that it not only enrich the events that you need to investigate, that you are monitoring, but it also minimizes the false positives during your investigations to determine whether the hash is malicious or not, for example. So I just gave you an example of screenshot, for example, right? So in the events, right, you see that there is a malicious file hash, right? But I do not know whether it's being triggered but I do not know whether the hash is malicious or not. So basically what I do is I have integrated with Kaspersky Threat Intelligence, and I cross-check with Kaspersky Threat Intelligence, and the component is called Threat Lookup, right? So when I look into this hash and I correlate and I refer it to the threat intelligence data from Kaspersky, it looks like this hash is very malicious, right? You see, from the threat intelligence data, basically it tells you this hash is very malicious. Excuse me. This is the same as well as another form of enrichment of events. So basically, from malicious hash, you can see for that one, you see in the threat intelligence portal view. Okay, but for this one, you see from the Kaspersky SIEM view or Kaspersky Kuma view. Excuse me. So it indicates that this particular hash is malicious malware, and there's a lot of malware associated with this hash as well. And all this view can be seen within the Kaspersky Kuma view. Okay. This is more for organizations that want to deploy Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma for SOC use cases. So basically, you can enrich again with Kaspersky Threat Intelligence, but this is another component of Kaspersky Threat Intelligence for SOC use cases. Right. So you can actually enrich the events that you receive. You see that with the enrichment of the events that you receive, you can actually go to one bottom level to indicate that this particular IP that you receive from China actually is a known IP reputations from the threat intelligence data coming from Kaspersky. And it gives you the detailed view of the IP reputations under the botnet CNC category. It's a botnet CNC server. And of course, this view is within the Kaspersky Kuma view as well. This is some of the out of the box. Not everything is out of the box, but even if it's not out of the box, you actually can build some scripting to integrate, to automate some response. Like for example, to use some Python scripts or some scripts, or to invoke some API if it's supported. But some of the out of the box you can see is probably like, for example, if customers using KSC, right? So you can integrate KSC to do some response, right? Like some of the KSC response you can do, like for example, you can do IOC scan, you can do some endpoint security scan, right? You can also do some block response as well with EDR Optimum if customer has Kaspersky Next as well. Right. So this is more for Kaspersky EDR experts, whereby you can do detailed responses if customers actually deploy Kaspersky EDR expert or Kaspersky XDR. Okay. This is the out of the box when you integrate with Active Directory, whereby you can do native response seamlessly. So you detect that this user can be a malicious user, can be a suspect user, so you can put a response. Again, this is from the Kuma view, and you can actually click response via Active Directory when you have a seamless integration with Active Directory, and you can decide whether you want to add an account to a temporary group for investigation, you want to reset the account password again, or you want to remove this user from administrative account, or you want to block this account. And all this response can be delivered seamlessly with a seamless integration with Active Directory. And this is also a unique key with Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma. Yeah, this is the reports. Again, you can see all the reports that you can do. It's all configurable with all the various format that you want to generate the reports from all the events that you see and based on the timeline, right? Okay. This is the dashboard you can create with all the widgets that you can customize flexibility. The approach is similar when you create and customize the reports as well. Of course, not to mention Kaspersky Kuma is also has built in a lot of, like for example, the correlations engine is also powered by AI as well. In future, we are going to build in more like risk scoring, like analysis, what we call AI analysis use case in Kaspersky SIEM or Kaspersky SIEM as well. This is a sample of deployment. Another unique propositions that Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma offer, especially in an environment that is not too big, right? So this is the hardware sizing. This is one of the differentiator that Kaspersky Kuma or SIEM differentiate with many competitors that relies on high sizing hardware. But if you look into here, even with 5K EPS, with all-in-one deployment, all-in-one basically means single server deployment. Okay, actually Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma can scale up to 10K EPS. Okay, but this is an example for 5K EPS for 90 days storage retention in an all-in-one architecture deployment, single server environment. Okay, why Kaspersky SIEM, right? Scalability. Kaspersky SIEM can actually scale compare with most of the vendors. The largest we can scale at least 500K EPS. Kaspersky SIEM is developed adaptively using microservices architecture built in to support various REST API for those environment that are more mature and for MSSP as well. Performance is real time, but storage wise is scalable to support not only hot storage but also cold storage using third party and cold storage using archiving storage as well. Licensing is flexible, as my colleague Sam has also mentioned. We don't base on peak EPS, we base on average EPS for 24 hours. No charges for HA, no charges for additional components if you want to deploy distributed architecture instead of single all-in-one architecture. NetFlow capacity is unlimited, but you need the NetFlow module, right? Low system requirements, low hardware requirements. Maximum all-in-one Kaspersky SIEM can support is up to 10K EPS. And of course, integration. Integration is a key to Kaspersky, especially to Kaspersky's stack of products where it comes to discovery, profiling, and also responses. And also remember, not only for IT environment, but also for OT environment with Kaspersky industrial cybersecurity portfolio. Of course, Kaspersky SIEM, this is my last slide. Kaspersky SIEM is not only serve as a SIEM platform, but this is the only slide I want to share with you because it will be another long discussion. But Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma can actually scale to XDR platform, right, into a single data fleet. And this is where we differentiate with many competitors or many vendors providers, whereby they have different vendors, different platform for SIEM, different vendors for XDR. But for our Kaspersky Kuma or Kaspersky SIEM, you can actually start with SIEM for centralized log management. After that, you can scale for security log, security event monitoring, and then you can scale for threat detection and response, and then of course finally you can scale for XDR. At the end of the day, our Kaspersky SIEM or Kaspersky Kuma is able to scale in or converge into XDR platform as a single data lake to integrate with telemetry data, not only just logs, and to correlate and to query all this telemetry data and events data as a single view as well. And this is what XDR is all about. So with that, I'm sorry that I over time a bit, but this is what Kaspersky SIEM or Kuma I would like to introduce to you. Thank you, and I will pass back this to the host.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor, for that deep dive on Kuma. And as we are closing our program, we just want to say thank you once again to all of our esteemed speakers, to Victor, to Sam, and to our moderator, Jasmine. And of course, to all of the attendees who really showed up today and, being with us all throughout the program. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate your participation, and we hope that you had a lot of learnings from all of our discussions and all of our presentations. Now, before we close, we want to remind you all that the recording of today's session will be made available soon. You will receive an email with a link shortly. And if you have any further questions or need additional information, feel free to reach out to the contact details shown on your screen. Now, we did have some unanswered questions throughout the webinar. Don't worry, we will be reaching out to you for the answers. And of course, this has been your host, Ella. I'm so glad to be with you guys today on a rainy, Wednesday morning. And should you need a turnkey project contractor, please contact us. Info at elevatespace-events.com. Once again, it's info at elevatespace-events.com. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye. Okay, so to everyone who stayed, papunta na po tayo sa exciting part. Alam kong excited na tayo para sa ating raffle. And as a thank you para sa lahat ng talagang dumalo at nakisaya sa ating mga discussions, ano? Ayan na, nakikita ko na yung mga hearts ninyo. So keep those hearts coming. Baka pala, ito yung magiging ninyo, no? Ito yung magiging lucky charm ninyo. So to qualify, you need to accomplish the survey form. You can access it by checking the link on your screen or scanning the QR code. I'll be giving you guys 2 minutes. Once again, 2 minutes. Your timer starts now. 2 minutes lang para sagutan ang ating survey. Kailangan nyo po sagutan yung survey para ma-qualify. Makuha namin yung mga names ninyo. And we will be presenting the wheel. So live po lahat ito. Makikita ninyo ang pagbunot namin ng mga pangalan. And dapat andito kayo. Once again, the mechanics for this is that you have to be present. So if I call your name or you see your name on the screen, please say present, all right? So you have 1 minute and 30 seconds left. If you are done, do give me a heads up. Comment down below, done. So I can see those who are already good to go. There we go. So we have there we go. Okay, next we have Christina, we have Jason, Jade. All right. So don't worry, we'll be putting your names on our spinning wheel. Once again, 2,000 pesos worth of grab voucher ang ating mapapanalunan para sa ating raffle. Last minute, you guys, last minute. Let me see if you're done. Comment down below once again. I see a lot of people commenting done. Okay, last 40 seconds, you guys, to qualify for our 2,000 pesos worth of grab voucher. I know super excited po tayo dito. All right, kanina pa namin to in-announce and I'm so happy that you guys stayed until the end of the program. Last 20 seconds, you guys. Not yet done. All right, last 20 seconds. Habol po tayo. Sayang naman ang ating 2,000 worth of grab voucher, all right? And last 15 seconds. Comment down below, comment done if you are done answering our survey to qualify for our wheel of names. Ayan. So makikita nyo naman po yung wheel of names natin. And there we have it. We are closing our survey form. And we are just transferring your names sa ating wheel, which we will be presenting on the screen in a short while. At makikita po natin ang inyong mga pangalan. Let's see who our lucky winners will be. 5 po. Again, 5 po ang ating winners for today ng 2,000 pesos worth of grab voucher. Again, andito na po tayo sa exciting part. So who is our first lucky winner? Let's see. And the first winner is, once again, pag andito ka, say present. So we can give it to you. We have James Melad. Is James Melad here? Please stay present so we can give your prize. James Melad. There we go. Okay, congratulations, James. You got 2,000 pesos worth of grab voucher. Our second winner is... Sino kaya? Sino? Let's see. It's Ivy Villanueva. Ivy Villanueva. Are you here, Ivy? Comment present so we can give your voucher to you. Okay? May mga minors po pala tayo dito. But let's see if, present si Juliet. Okay, let's see if kayo na ang susunod na mananalo ng ating Grab voucher. Our third winner is... There we go. We have a name, Triksha Jane Gapod. Triksha Jane Gapod. Andito po ba si Triksha? Eto, may mga Steelers rin po pala tayo. May Miners, may Steelers. All right, Triksha is present. Ang ating third winner. Now, we're moving over to our fourth. Fourth winner na po tayo. Last two na lang, guys. All right. Our second to the last winner is Ricky Lore. Ricky Lore. Andito po ba si Ricky? Let's wait. Ayun. Present rin si Ricky. So, andito kayong lahat, ha? We're moving over to our last winner of the day. Sino kaya ang maswerteng mananalo ng 2,000 pesos worth of Grab voucher? Here we go. We have Brian Acuno. Brian, are you here? Say present. Brian, say present if you are here para mabigay namin sa'yo. Kasi if you're not present, we're gonna have another name. All right? Brian? Brian? May nagbibilang na sa ating chat box. Sige, Brian, bigyan pa kita ng konting time. Brian Acuno, are you here? Brian Acuno? Going once? Going twice? All right. Nako, ang gagaling naman ng mga nasa chat box. All right. Sino ang ating last winner for the day? We have Nika May Mendoza. Nika May Mendoza? Nika, are you here? Once again, ayan na. All right. Congratulations to Nika May Mendoza, and congratulations sa ating 5 nanalo ng 2,000 pesos worth of Grab voucher. Okay? Once again, yung recording ng ating webinar will be sent to your emails, and this wraps up our entire webinar. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations once again sa ating lucky winners. Thank you, and have a good day, everyone. Bye!
We are Kaspersky, a cybersecurity trusted partner and technology leader forged for corporate business. 220,000 of corporate clients in 200 countries already trust us due to our proven global expertise and best-in-class products, confirmed by multiple international awards and recognitions. We are transparent and independent. We have relocated cyber threat-related data storage and processing to Switzerland and offer our source code for external reviews in 10 international transparency centers. We detect cyber attacks from all around the globe, and we know everything about threats from their source, daily detecting new attacks, threats, and malicious files. We help to crack the most sophisticated attacks ever known. Our security experts, including Kaspersky Great Team, track almost 1,000 APT groups worldwide and cooperate with global security organizations. As a cybersecurity leader, we create a mature, scalable product ecosystem for business that provides ultimate protection from all possible cyber attack vectors. We understand the needs, trends, and challenges of different industries and reduce the load on your cybersecurity personnel. We innovate and build a Kaspersky cyber immunity ecosystem where vulnerability or bad code are no longer a big deal. Protect your business from all possible cyber threats and build a cyber immune future with us. Kaspersky. Bring on the future.